All right. And welcome to our very first podcast.
Woohoo! I'm so excited.
I'm way too excited. Look at this face.
I know.
Yeah,
We were all saying, well, me, I'm nervous. Brandon, you're nervous?
I think I'm the most nervous.
Yeah.
I'm pretty nervous. I'm not going to lie about that.
Oh, you hit it. You didn't say anything. I was like, oh, yeah. So, yeah.
What are we calling this podcast, Helena?
Press record.
Press record.
That's all you have to do, guys.
I like it. Let us know if you like that name.
I like that, yeah. This is our first episode. We're sharing the space right now with some guys at the Bright Morningstar Films office. They're also going to be hosting this for us, our space.
It's been great.
Yeah, we love those guys.
So this is really our test run because we're trying to have our first guest on the 31st
Yep.
and do it on Sundays.
We're trying to do every Sunday if we get enough guests.
We can do that. We can definitely.
I think we can.
think so, too.
What are we looking for, though? You tell everybody out there what we're looking for. We're looking for...
So this is a space where we want to interview creatives for all mediums. It doesn't matter if you, I don't know, anything. Pick your nose. It's fine as long as it's like in a creative field and you're really
Creative way.
cool.
Yeah.
But also you were saying having artists even perform here if it's just acoustic and
That's what we was talking about, like
process.
trying to do it as a show as well.
Yeah.
So we are looking for some singer-songwriters, not full bands yet.
models, photographers. I mean,
Fire breathers.
exactly. That would actually
That'd
be
be
really
pretty cool. I'm not
About
gonna lie.
anything entertainment, right?
Yeah, it's about anything, any medium, as you said.
Yeah.
Medium.
I feel like we know so many amazing artists, and they all have unique stories, and we want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, even maybe I just looked at your tattoos. I mean, maybe even try to reach out to some tattoo guys and let them bring their artwork in and talk about, how they got started or something.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to talk about how we kind of know each other because
Yeah.
we've known each other for a couple of years.
It's been a minute.
And I'm always grateful for Bryant and Brandon because they give me opportunities, not just makeup artist-wise, but I'm like, I want to hop on a camera. And they're just like, here you go. And you brought me on in projects, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You create opportunities for people, and that's why.
Well, that's
a
how
lot
we
of-
got it started, was opportunities.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere. Yeah.
We all met through Ricky Purcell, actually.
Yeah, Ricky's great.
Yeah, I love
Ricky
Ricky.
Kendall, great, yeah.
Yeah. It was Trap City, I believe.
Trap City.
Was it Traps?
It was Trap City because Risa brought in.
Oh, no, it was.
Helena.
Shout out Risa, yeah.
Yeah.
We do a lot of work
We do.
with Risa.
Then we all became friends. We
And here we
started.
are, which I'm really surprised because when you mentioned a podcast, I was like, yeah, I'll just do BTS. And you're like, no, you're gonna sit there. You're going to interview
Do it,
people.
yeah, with us,
Which
yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. We get to do this as like a triangle almost, A triangle.
We're a tripod.
A tripod.
Tripod.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, you got started you did hair and makeup. I know you're an esthetician.
Esthetician. Yeah, I was an esthetician for 9 years. I'm still licensed, but it was just hard with the work I was putting in. I don't think financially I was getting rewarded for all of that. And I was like, oh my gosh. But bring up Risa again. I met her years ago. I worked at Ulta, and she worked for a different brand, and she was working on film and just had me assist her. And then from then, like my first gig professionally was this like HBO commercial or something. I don't know what it is, but it kind of just went on from there.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
I'm always grateful
Yeah.
for that. So what about you guys? You guys have been in it
Long
in the game
time.
for well respected in this town.
Yeah.
Already.
We try to get along with everybody. I think that's
Key.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've all worked with some hard to work with people, and you never want to work with them again. So
And if I'm ever that way, just smack me and I'll be like, oh yeah, you're fired. Get off here. Okay.
we all get along good. I mean, I think that we're all people. I hate to say it, we're kind of like we're too nice to people. I think so. That's why
I have mean thoughts.
I think we all have mean thoughts. We just are like always like, hey, I need some help, and it's like, sure, I'm tired of shit, but I'll try to help you out.
Yeah, for sure. Both of you are that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I borrow equipment from both of you all the time with lights and the gimbal. I mean, I'm just like, thank you.
That's one of the things like that's helping you grow. So it's like, I mean, there's a lot of guys. Me and Brandon's always there's a few guys like, hey, I need a light. I I'm like, okay, well, what do you need? Especially if it's something like, I'm not too worried they're going to break or something, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always scared. I'm like, I can't break their equipment.
It's insured.
It is. But yeah, I bet everything now is insured, so I'm not worried about all that stuff. Even the podcast units.
Yeah, which is great. Which you said you've had this for about a year, and this is what
did.
kind of it came through that, and you're like, it's time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got this for the Bright Morningstar guys. They was talking about doing a Bigfoot podcast, and
Which is so interesting.
yeah, and they're working on it still now. And we put it all back together, and I was just like, hey, Helena, let's try a podcast or something.
This was literally like, what, 4 days ago?
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We started an Instagram, like
Yeah.
a little logo. We got it.
We got it down.
Everybody
official.
is pulling. I'm like, you're doing the media side, which
Yes.
I knew nothing about that social
Which is
media
fun.
side.
Sometimes it's difficult, but I'm like, okay, it needs to be done.
Yeah. At least it's somebody that knows what they're doing, because I
Yeah,
suck
somewhat.
at social media.
You know, I pretend to know a little bit of something.
You're doing good.
I think we all jump into that. What is it, the old saying? If you don't know how to do the job, you
You fake it.
fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Well, I feel a lot of artists also have imposter syndrome. No matter what you do or how long you've been doing it, you're just like, ugh. At least
Yeah.
for me, a lot of things I do, I'm like, am I this? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm that, and this, and that.
And check off this too, because you are a camera operator as well.
Yeah.
You've been lighting for a while. So
doing it I did like set design for this blinds commercial.
I remember you talked to about
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
I like brought all this stuff. I don't know, and I believe the company liked how everything looked. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I forgot about that when you just brought it up. I was like, oh yeah, you told me about that. Yeah.
Because we all do
Everything.
So many.
A little bit of stuff.
If you're in this industry, it's
You
just
gotta,
like
yeah.
you wear many hats.
Yeah. And if you don't, you probably don't get hired as much. So
No.
or have opportunities.
Yeah.
Or something. I mean, it's not always about the hire; it's about the opportunities. I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes and just interviewing cool people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
not next week, but the next week will be the
31st. Yeah.
first.
31st.
31st.
Just gonna talk in British accents.
Yeah. Hey, why not?
Yeah,
We do it on set all the time. Why not?
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I do have one friend kind of lined up. I just have to confirm, but
Yeah. One thing I was talking about, or just thinking, I should say, we should try to line up, I mean, if we only get one, it's fine, but if we line up like 3 or 4 people. And like
we're gonna get it hard. I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna annoy you.
that's
Like
what you got to
said,
do.
You
yeah.
can't say no. It's 10 years bad luck. I put that in one of my
Ooh.
stories.
I-
I'm
I
gonna threaten. You
shared
gotta
it.
threaten people.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Scare them. Scare
Yeah.
tactic works.
Yeah. And superstition's even better. So,
Yeah.
Cool.
so what do you do?
Me, I am.
Brandon, what
Brandon.
do you do?
What do I do? I'm just that guy.
That guy.
That guy is cool.
I'm that guy. I do a little bit of everything.
You
But
do.
I don't do sound. I ain't gonna say I haven't done makeup, because I have had to powder some people.
God, I
before.
have had to too.
We've done a little bit of blood stuff before, but I mean,
That's cool. That's something I really want to get into, but I don't.
I've tried. One thing I've always done, and you know this, I'll
Yeah.
find, and you did the same thing with like everybody we've ever worked with. I'll find somebody and be like, I will work for you for free if you'll let me
Just to
shadow
learn,
you. Yeah. And
Yes.
there's a few guys like you hit them up and they're like, oh, whoa, I don't want you to do that. And you're like, why not? I just want to try to learn. But that's one thing. Like I got for like you said, the special effects stuff.
Yeah.
I loved making blood, and it took me years to get kind of good at it.
You perfected the blood.
Well, I found out tricks along the way.
Do you like thick blood running, or just depends on the scene?
That's what I said. It depends on the scene, because
Okay.
I finally learned how to make thinner blood. I always started with,
We've always
with
had
thicker.
thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we found out from actors they hate the taste, so we started incorporating in
What do they
flavors.
describe the taste as?
It's kind of like old, like already used bubble gum. You know, it's like that flavor at the very end.
That
when
sounds good to me.
Yeah. It's like, it's like when
Yeah.
when you want to spit it out.
Yeah.
So we found out you can buy flavoring that you make like cakes and stuff with, and it's super concentrated flavor. And so we found it's called like Luann's or something. And they sent us it's like $12, but you get all these flavors and they're super concentrated. So we started doing that with blood.
Yeah.
Like, Tutti Frutti was what everybody liked.
Tutti Frutti.
Yeah. Coconut. The best thing is they're not hypo. They're hypoallergenic, so nobody
You shouldn't be able to get allergic to them.
So somebody has never tasted coconut, you can say, "Here you go. That's what coconut tastes like." Well, similar,
Yeah,
but
because it's not 100%.
yeah,
That's one thing I haven't worked with you guys on is a horror.
I want to. And you want to die? You want to die a bloody death?
Slash me up. Just let me run in the woods. I'm gonna trip and fall and do all the typical cheesy things.
Yeah, I want to do like you fall right. Okay, just already super gory. You fall, and
Yes.
somebody takes a stunt double, like one of those like foam things, and throws it in a chipper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why not? If we're gonna do it, let's do it really bloody and just a bunch of blood come out.
I can do my own stunts. I was watching something. Tom Cruise, as old as he is, like for the Mission Impossibles. I had no idea. But was it the last Mission Impossible where he goes down this ramp and he just like jumps?
Yeah.
He did that like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
You ever see the
Wild.
director in the behind the scenes? He's like sitting there, just he
Yeah,
slowly
yeah, I
comes
saw
in.
it
Like,
this
is he gonna pull the?
morning.
Yeah, he's terrified. Like, is he gonna pull this cable? Is he gonna pull the parachute? I was like,
That's wild.
yeah, and then he always pulls it.
I'm gonna commit like that. I'll commit to dying like Tom Cruise does to his stunts.
That's how you do it right there.
Commit
That's how
to
you do it.
dying. But yeah, we've talked about that for a while because I keep saying I want to do a horror, and you're like, when we do a horror,
You want to be in it?
I want to die, and I was
Yeah.
like, most of the time people are like, I want to live.
No.
Like, I want to be the
I
first
want
one
horror.
out.
I want something like campy, like Army of Darkness. It's
Ooh.
one of my favorites. So
That's me too. That was probably the first horror movie I ever fell
Well,
in
not
love
the
with.
first, but I mean, it's one
so
of those.
Yeah, I guess it was one of the ones that I watched over and over as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Army of Darkness.
they play that a lot at Full Moon Cinema. So I don't know if you've ever been there.
Not
It's-
yet. You showed us though when we went to go get that makeup. That time.
They're currently having their I forget, it's a Full Moon. I think maybe it's their Full Moon Festival.
It is, yeah.
And I lurked on their website, and maybe this week they're having guest speakers right now along before the horror movie that's being shown. And I'm just like, I think it's $20 to see the one movie or whatever. Like The Nun, I haven't seen the new one,
I haven't either.
but the woman that plays the nun is speaking.
Ooh,
And I was like, that's cool.
She looks nothing like
yeah.
the
No.
nun.
Yeah.
I do know that.
Yeah. But yeah, horror. That's the next thing.
Yeah.
I think that's the move. For sure.
I remember they used to have MTAC used to be at the convention a long time, and they used to have I think their horror con. And you
Yeah.
could buy reduced tickets. I think it was.
They split it up 2 ways. You walked.
You would go into left wing or right wing, and you would either go into MTAC, which is Middle Tennessee Anime Convention.
anime convention.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
And the
then
other
you
side
could
was
go
the
the other
Horror
way,
Fest.
and it was what was his name? Ben Dixon. Is that his name? The guy that does.
Oh, yes. Yeah. But I don't know his last name. I know his first name is Ben.
Yeah, I met him like years and years ago because he's
He
got
and his
that,
wife are so cool. They're cool people.
and they're horror people. too.
I don't know if she still acts. I'm not really familiar with like her acting history, but yeah. I'm obsessed with women's cinema.
I
Maybe
haven't been yet.
be on the show. You know, we're gonna get
Be on the show.
well. But there is a tattoo. You know, Lone Wolf. I think is
Yeah.
in there as well. Yeah.
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 You can hold it for a second. You out, Steve?
Bye. Bye, Steve. Guess no interview with Steve.
No interview with Steve.
I think he wanted to pass on it.
Yeah, he was just like.
Well, you know, Mike, he's gonna be like, "Hey, they're doing something today. You want to go do it? You want to
yeah.
go do it?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Steve, if he did talk. He is a
He's got some
he's
stories.
a character.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
He looks like a character.
He is a character. He's a good dude, though. I like old Steve. Guys, we got a lot of stories with Steve.
Oh, man.
Because with the place we lived in, he actually had an office there.
Yeah.
Oh, the previous place we were talking
No,
about?
on 18th.
18,000.
That's what I'm saying. It was so huge. I lived in
That's funny.
it's crazy. Like the closet, right?
Was a room.
Was the size of a bedroom. So I took a closet. We packed like a whole band in there.
Yeah.
And then the
there's a
middle
group
floor.
In the basement, there was a band that was staying. The middle was set up for production.
And
the top
studio.
was for living, yeah.
And it was crazy because from the side of the road, it looked little, but inside those
That's
dimensions.
deceiving, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then next door was Fireside Studios.
Yeah.
And there's a trick to that I wish they never would have torn down. You could go in the corner and you could whisper, and somebody on the other side could hear what you. It was built.
They built it acoustically. For,
That is
Yeah.
weird. I don't know if I'd like that.
Well, they built it for a studio though. What was his name?
Warren Peters.
Warren Peters. No, Warren Peters was the one that told us about it. He married
Porter.
Porter Wagner.
Porter Wagner.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he built this studio.
Well, 811 was his house.
Yeah, he lived the place that we
place
actually
we
was renting.
Lived at. That was his house.
Resident.
before.
And Dolly Parton lived there for a while.
Yeah.
Dolly, Queen.
And they knocked all that down.
To put condos up.
Yeah.
Of course they did. Those little shotgun ones. Ugh, it's horrible. Yeah, I think we're all from Tennessee, right? No?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. How
Original
long have
born.
you both been here?
2010,
That's when we
we
started
moved here.
coming, yeah.
Because we used to drive back and forth because we would be on the road, because we still did like our band life too. We'd be back and forth, and then here there's so many more opportunities. And then also we about died by that truck.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With snow going all the way down a mountain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this
You
dude
just slid?
Well, no, a semi-truck about smacked us. And,
Yeah, we had one behind me, one in front, and one on the side.
and they couldn't stop.
And you're going down the Asheville Mountain.
It's an
Oh
incline.
my
They got the,
gosh.
what do you call
They
the runaway
even had
ramps.
the Runaway ramps.
So, we
couldn't
was
stop.
yeah, and I was
Because
just
if
like,
I
just
stopped,
gun
I
it,
would've-
gun it.
yeah.
And if at least we get hit,
And then
we'll-
the one truck on the side was
It'll be
coming in.
fast.
Yeah. So
Fast death.
so we got home that day. We was like all shooken up, and it's a 7-hour drive.
But with stops, you're looking at about 9. And we drove.
So we just ended up
week,
talking one day.
Came back home.
Yeah.
Then drove the next week.
What brought you to?
The work.
The work.
And then also we was
in a band.
In a band. So the
Yeah, those were the
studios.
studios.
Yeah, we ended up like even like Fireside. We was able to talk to those guys. We talked to Quad all the time, and they was like, if y'all are living in the area and you're trying to cut demos and stuff, just I mean, Omni was big for us.
It was, I don't know. All the time.
And they would be like, "We're going to cut your rate so low because I mean, it was just really pay Rory and them their hourly rate, and then you could have the studio cheap as long as we're not really using it." So we ended up getting that room a lot, and was able to cut demos like dirt cheap.
That's awesome. You probably can't do that nowadays.
Oh yeah. Well, they just got rid of
Closed
Omni.
Omni.
Yeah.
Just closed. It just shut down last month.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I knew you guys were in a band, and I've known you for a while.
Yeah. It's
I was seeing like pictures of you
Yeah.
guys looking rock and roll. I just thought that was just
2017.
aesthetic. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, we're in a
That's when
band.
Casey left.
yeah.
It was
Or,
just like
and that's one of the things. Like Casey, he was one of the. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's like sometimes you meet somebody. Like Casey was like a brother, and it's just like God. It's like you don't want to continue on trying to
was
find
just-
somebody else.
we went through one singer, and then we went through a second. Then when we got Casey, he was a good 5-6 years with us, and then like when he moved back to North Carolina, it was just like this.
You're
I
over
want
it.
to start over again.
Yeah, I mean we still do music, but it's just not.
Do it for ourselves now.
Yeah,
our
it's
little
not-
brother's big. I mean, he writes probably 2-3 songs a day. I mean,
Wow.
But none of us have ever been good with lyrics. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the one thing.
Yeah,
So
the music's there. But
music's there, but lyrics are not.
I had no idea. What was the name of your band?
Had a lot. And
okay.
well, I mean, we've been in bands since middle school.
yeah,
Were you in talent shows?
No, we. Sadly, it was we were stupid. We'd get in metal bands. The very first band, me, you, and Kevin, and this is interesting. PDIC, remember that?
PDIC.
You know, okay, we was in a metal band, and I'm talking about like I mean, just
It was-
stupid. Like, do. I mean, just
I love it.
nobody having. It was just people, just loud music.
And Kevin came up with the name.
He said we should be Priest, Dick, and Child, and I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, that's going to be so controversial, so we ended up going by PDIC.
PDIC.
So
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
yeah, it's very metal for the night. Then when
is
people
so
hear it, they're like, "What? Wait, Priest, Dick, and Child?" And I was like, "Yeah, Priest, Dick, and Child." So
That's so cool. That's amazing.
we probably played like 3 shows, and then one of them was like a birthday for a friend or something. That was
Metal show for someone's birthday.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was Kevin though.
yeah. Kevin, you couldn't. And then we started changing routes. It was like we always listened to metal. And then alternative was where you could actually make some kind of at least money and at least
Yeah.
play shows. So we ended up going with different bands throughout the years. You would be in different bands, I'd be in different bands, and then we found out it's kind of cool when you just work together. And then our little brother always played guitar, so it's like, fuck, let's just bring him in.
Got a bunch of friends together.
Yeah.
Who's singer? Like what did you play?
Bass.
Bass.
Always
Drums.
bass, yeah. Always rhythm section.
Yeah.
And I know you played saxophone. And
I played the alto saxophone.
I did too. And in high school and middle school. Yeah.
I was in marching band. I started in 7th grade, and I was never good, but I would practice, you know? And so in order to get first chair, you would have to challenge people. And so I would just practice on like chromatic scale over and over and over and over. And I would challenge, and I would end up getting like first chair, not because I'm like skilled. It's just like, I got you, you know?
So we did it
Yeah.
different. We had to do. It was every 3 weeks,
They
everyone
forced
had
that.
to play. Yeah. And then
You
it
went up in
was,
front of everybody, and then you traded chairs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I never wanted first. I always got like
I
second or
held
third.
first for a long time, and I hated it because you was the gun, you know.
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
did.
I've sometimes like, I don't deserve to be here, but they're not practicing. They're stupid. So,
Yeah.
but,
How it was with us.
but I had a lot of fun in marching band.
I did too.
I was in marching band freshman year to senior.
Yeah,
We were
same.
pretty good.
Well, then you didn't graduate.
Yeah, you left the 11th grade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I quit in the 12th.
Yeah.
But
Well, you didn't mean you got kicked out. I'm not. Yeah.
Oh.
We was.
I'm
You don't know
discovering-
that side.
No,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Metal bands and getting kicked out of school. What did y'all do?
We was not. We was hellions, kind of. It was kind of.
yeah,
We had fun, being stupid.
Or is North Carolina just like they're
Yeah.
kind of,
High Point.
yeah.
not much
maybe.
to do. Yeah.
So you get in trouble.
Wow. I feel like I want to know all about this.
Ooh. Well,
I want to know one thing. Like what?
fighting a lot. Me and Brandon would. Oh, he was a scrapper, big time. Oh man. And we.
It's the wrong place at the wrong time, I'd say.
Yeah, and we would hang around the wrong people. I think that was the thing. Mom, she would always say, she always thought me and him would either be dead or in jail when we was growing
Wow.
up. Yeah, because we was always hanging around the wrong people, and they'd be in the wrong situations.
Yeah.
And we would just be in the car with them.
That's how it happens.
Yeah.
So at one point, when did both of you are like, I want to do movies. I want to work in film or
It was going back and forth, because I told you this story, I think, one time when we went to go get something to eat just to hang out. And when we used to go down to Screen Gems,
Yeah, Wilmington.
our mom did some transportation, and she used to get some small, light contracts in Wilmington. And we was like 13 or 14 at that time.
It was end of middle school.
And we went to the Screen Gem studio one day because they was talking about expanding her to come down to be the exclusive there for a while. And we went down and we met with
It was Frank Capra.
Frank Capra
Jr.
Yeah, Jr. And I remember when we was kids, he was cool because he looks like weird. He's like, and his father's Frank Capra. You know, it's It's a Wonderful Life. That's why Mike was like, we need to spend that, and I was like, it's kind of cool to pay homage to him. But yeah, we used to go down there and we'd see the sets and we would run around. He was just cool. He was like, just go watch the camera department. He wasn't like, he was like, just don't make noise and go experience the sets. And at that point, I was like hooked. I was like, I want to do this the rest of my life. But
yeah, and here you are,
Yeah.
both of you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
yeah.
So what about you? What started your makeup or what started your career?
Ever since I was little, believe it or not, people are like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I was like, I want to be an actress. Like I was always very dramatic, and that's how my dad and I would bond. Like I was going and seeing rated R movies when I was very
same here.
young. You know, if it's like a sex scene, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't, look, and I'll cover my eyes. And I remember watching like Species in the theater. And I had no business, and with like my dad being like, oh, whatever. I'm just not very good at auditioning or acting, really. But I did heavily pursue that at one time. And I had moved to New York for a while, and I was going to move to LA, but I didn't. But I actually moved to Scandinavia and Norway for a year or so, and that's when I was still like heavy in trying to pursue an acting career. And I was on the longest running soap opera in Norway, 3 episodes. But it was where I obviously don't know the language, so they would have to cue me in. But I played this like girl who's in charge of the English music conservatory, and really it's just me like with a tablet being like, Runa Jorgensen. Like I had to say her name, and that was it. But it was cool.
I had no clue.
She told me about that a while back. She
Okay,
was
Yeah,
this is like,
acting
yeah.
in
I was
Scandinavia.
signed onto the block agency for a couple of years. It was so much easier to get into acting then, because this was like 2009, 2010. You can just submit something online and immediately they'll be like, I want you. I'm not gonna lie, I've tried. I don't get anything anymore because I was like, it's so saturated probably, and also
Especially here.
I don't want to take out my nose ring, and like I'm tattooed up, so it's like probably don't want me. But yeah, that was like I was in the restaurants bartending and stuff, pursuing that.
Okay.
But I love being more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't know that about. I didn't know that she told you about.
She told me
that.
a while back. Yeah.
Because I just always thought you just was like, I just want to do something for fun. I had no clue. Moved all the way to Scandinavia and all that. God.
And acted. Yeah.
And acted.
Yeah, I mean, I've been like student films, so I was here. The first one I ever did, oh my gosh, I worked with this, she's in LA now, Starina Johnson, amazing actress. And I was in this student film called Bondage. And it's where she was my psychologist or whatever, and something bad happened to my character. And then she was like getting into what I was saying, and she's like, will you reenact it? And I promised there was like no nudity or anything. But I ended up like tying her up and pretending I was like cutting her. And I would watch it, and it's so bad. I was just like, I still have it. Maybe I'll show it.
One day.
I want to see it. Yeah.
Well, I think everybody,
Maybe.
the first things me and you ever did were like horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I took acting classes at the Nashville Acting Studio, but even that I was like, I don't think I'm made for this because it was just, I would get anxiety
Yeah.
being in front of even other fellow students, you know? So I was like, that's fine. That's why I'm kind of extra on social media because it's a fun,
Yeah. Medium to.
it's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my story. And then makeup, I've always been into that. And like I said, Risa got me into it professionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Teresa.
Risa, she's great. She
Yeah.
kills it. She's been doing amazing work.
She's amazing. Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
I love Teresa.
So smart, so beautiful, and so talented. So
Yeah, she's easy to work with too. I mean, that's what I like. Is when you can always work with somebody. I mean, we've talked about that before too. Is
that goes a long way.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does.
Personality, and we talk to people.
when people say at the end of the day, "I want to work with you again." You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Say your name and say what you're doing and where you want to go with it.
Oh my gosh. Well, my name is Helena Green, and like I've said, I would like to work more behind the scenes. I am a makeup and hair person, but I've been collaborating with so many talented like directors and producers in town with their projects, and really, it's just what I want to do. And with the film festivals that I've been doing, I was like, I'd be so sick if I wrote something and like create whatever, even like a horror film. I want to do so much, like producing my own camera.
Yeah.
Like, can you hear the excitement? But yeah, so that's me.
Boom.
Weiss Night, same thing. I like working in films, and this thing's cool. Meet new creatives. It's kind of good to know, you never know where you're going to come up. You meet actors, actresses, even people that later on they'll say they want to do a horror film.
And we should do that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get the gear together. You write one. You
do like
direct
a
it. You
short.
produce it. Shit, I'll help. I will jump on that one.
Yes.
And then you can even die in it.
Gotta get the wood chipper though.
Yeah.
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 That was good.
And yeah, that sound effect, right?
Yeah.
I'm Johnny Reeves, trying to work towards being a director. I know me and you've worked camera department for years. Gavin, Grippin, electrical. Me and you started as electricians in the field. But we got together, and we're going to be a force to reckon with. Press record.
Press record podcast.